So thank you for having me again. I would like to take these 15 minutes to take you along on the ABN AMRO journey on seamless employee identity life cycles. So join me in the onboarding of a new employee or a team member within your team. How do you feel when you're a new employee and you want to work within your new team on the job that you've been wanting to have for a long period of time? You're anxious to start your first day, right? You want to enter the building and you hope that's all working. So there you go, on your first day, entering the building, and it's going exactly as planned. The lady at the desk actually expects you already and has your pass where you can enter the building and ready and you can go in. Your computer is there, your applications are there, the first applications that you need when you open your computer, like intranet and the usage of Office 365, it's all there. Then, because you are a developer, the special rights are needed as well, right? Because you really want to deliver your rights and your added value straight away from the first day. And those are there as well. Isn't that a great thing? That actually on your first day, you could access all the applications that you need. That's just the first time right principle. It's automated and you actually exceed all the expectations because you can start and working already. That's the happy flow. That's where we at ABN AMRO strive for, of course, because people are our biggest assets. Imagine the other way around. When you want to start working, people don't know you're coming, your access is not ready, it's difficult to actually find the applications you need to work on, and the development rights, well, those take forever. That's actually the road you do not want to go. And from, okay, this is really exaggerated, of course, but from the negative view to the positive view, that's the journey we've been making from ABN AMRO in the last period of time. But why is a seamless employee lifecycle important? I already said so. The positive user experience, getting everything the first time right, is immensely important. People love it when they could actually do what they're paid for, right? And exceed expectations. To get that seamless employee lifecycle, you need process governance. So who's responsible for what, and in which period in the whole process does a line manager need to do something, for example? Control is important, and reviewing the access and the rights that people have are explicitly important as well to meet the audit purposes and the audit goals, to see how people are having access and if it's really going as it should be, or if there might be some breaches. So if you have a seamless employee life cycle, efficiencies in time, but as well as in costs, are really visible. And of course, we had some challenges. The challenges were numerous. Maybe it looked a bit like the bridge we're trying to cross on the picture below, on the back, but now I'll take you along some of the challenges that we actually had. First, it starts with having an identity lifecycle. Of course, we had a lifecycle already, but it wasn't 100% catering for all the new requirements we have. It needs to be easy to use, because the more difficult it gets, the less controlled it gets. And of course, identity is key. So the quality of the identity data and the setup of the data needs to be 100% to ensure automation. And of course, it needs to cater for all needs. We have on-premise tooling, we have clouds, we have legacy tooling still. So those you need to, with the setup and the life cycle, you need to cater for all those needs. So let me take you along in the identity lifecycle of ABN AMRO. On the left top, you see setup. That's where you come in as a person, as in a human person wanting to work within the ABN AMRO. You get your HR data filled, you get your contracts filled with your contract start date and the position where you're going to work, within the team you are going to work, and that's part of the whole setup, and as well as the role. Then we go a bit more to the right, And that's when you actually start working for the organization. And you have your access and your applications, and we're still at the outer ring. When you just have one position with the bank, which usually isn't the case because we, as ABN AMRO, like the job rotation model, where you have different jobs within a period of time, and you could actually learn and improve yourself all the time. If that's the case, you don't go to the exit in the outer ring, but you go on into the maintaining part again. That's when you become from a joiner, you become a mover within the organization. So you move to a different role. But again, the outer ring stays the same. If you step in one ring more to the middle, you actually see the axis connected. So you start in the organization, you get to find a role with access, and you get provisioned the access, so you actually could do something, and it's controlled and reviewed. And one step in, even more so, is identification, authentication, and authorization. Because when you're in, every day or every half a day or whatever the application requires, you need to identify, authenticate, and authorize your accesses. So this is the identity lifecycle we've set up and how we control our identities. And of course, when you leave the organization, you exit and all the access gets revoked. So it's a really clear model and it's really insightful, and it helped to build the governance and processes around it. So one of those we really needed to overcome was the ease of use. You really want to have clear responsibilities. It starts always, of course, with the policies and the standards. And in those, we wrote down, very insightful, if you ask me. I wrote it a bit myself, so that's why I could say, who is responsible for which step in the process. Within ABN AMRO, the line manager is responsible for almost everything regarding the access of an identity and of the whole life cycle. So we made an embedded joiner, mover, and leaver process. It's all connected and it's all automated and it's all requested by the line manager to go to the next step within the process. Is this person really coming within your organization and in this role, and then you grant the access or you revoke the access again. When the authorizations are given, they're not open forever, right? You need to have a review process around this and it needs to be reviewed. We automated this process. Depending on your role, the minimum is twice a year, but those review responsibilities need to be easy. They need to be sent to the manager and your employee needs to know so they can help improve this process so it actually gets reviewed. We're really proud to say that 99.99% reviewed their access, and the access that has been reviewed has been revoked. So really clear responsibilities and really clear control. That's the bridge to another one, the control. Of course, it starts again with policies and standards and the auditability of the data. You can set up your process really, really well, and it could be easy to use. But what if you can't audit the data? You don't have the data flow behind it. So all the review data, all the joiner, movers, and leavers data is auditable. We have everything, and we could see who granted access, we could see who revoked the access, and it's all really auditable. So that's really nice to have, and a necessity as well. And with this, it doesn't really matter on the application or if it's infrastructure or not. We can deliver this data. So control challenge is covered. How did we overcome the identity data quality challenge? And that's something we can improve daily because there come in new requirements every day. But the collaboration within HR is fantastic. And it's required as well. Like I already said, you come in as a natural person, which you obviously always stay, but you need a digital identity to be granted access within ABN AMRO. So an employee is connected to an organizational structure. And that would be, for example, in my case, would be ABN AMRO, CISO, identity and access. And then within the team of governance. The organizational structure, again, is connected to an airbag. a functional role. So I work within the AMRO Identity and Access Governance team, and I have a specific role. Why is that important? All the applications connected to these roles are there straight away from day one. So I have 10 applications that I need to use because of the standard function I have, and maybe 2 because I have a really explicit role. And those were ready on the first day I started. So I'm really happy we could say we centralized the automated provisioning by using the INA tooling. So the manager granted access on my first day, so I could actually start. When I leave the bank, he will revoke or leave to a different role, he will revoke my access straight away. And the data quality improvements and the connection with HR is key to actually make this happen. So how did we overcome the Cater for All Needs challenge? Maybe the pictures behind it already reflect it, right? Identity just needs to be there, and it needs to be really catering for all needs. But how did we do this? I already said organizational structures, organizational hierarchies, they're set up in different forms to be able to cater for those. Because you have DevOps way of working, which is not a fixed line hierarchy, but a more collaborative way of working. So that needs to be possible. And the cloud and on-prem tooling needs to be there. So actually, we need to cater with all those organizational structures for DevOps way of working and Airbag way of working. And then, of course, there are self-organizing teams. So this keeps on improving. So the organizational structures are fluid in that sense. They need to be strict, but they need to be improved and on a regular basis to see if they still cater for the needs. So how do we grant the access? You're one person, just like in the I forgot his name, in the movie, but he comes in different features. So you're one person with the role, and you get an organizational role. Then you're working in a specific function, you get the Airbag, which all the applications connected. But what if you're in a DevOps team? That's exactly where we all want to go, right? Working DevOps, really automated and really without any restrictions. So what we did is we have the organizational structure connected to the DevOps way of working with the 5 different roles within a team. What we did is we have applications connected to all those different 5 roles. The most important, of course, are the developer and the operations role. And for those specific functions, there are applications connected straight away. Because we connected the application of the team and the function of the employee, we could actually grant access straight away on the first day for the specific role. When it's T-shaped, which we really want, the developer and the operations roles are connected. So again, those will be granted on the day you start and revoked straight away. And with this, we actually cater for all needs with data in control in a layered role model. But then, will this journey be finished? Well, I would love to say yes, because we've come a long way and we can cater for a lot of needs. But I think environments will always innovate. New requirements will be asked, such as, for example, self-organizing teams or DevSecOps way of working. So it's a never-ending journey. But it's safe to say that we've come a long way, and that automation and control is key. And that's how we try to make it safe and easy as ABN AMRO. I wonder if you have any questions on our journey. So if so, please let me know.